Now we've looked at factorising the easier trinomial quadratics. We're going to look at the ones that can be considered possibly slightly harder. Now the difference with these ones is that they'll generally have a number other than 1 directly in front of the x squared term. So you might have like 2x squared, or 3x squared, or 4x squared there at the start. For this we use this kind of similar method, but to do this we need to understand some new terms. So the two terms we need to understand are inner and outer products. Now, they are exactly as you would kind of expect. Product, remember, means when we multiply two things. So the product of 5 and 4 is 20, the product of 3 and 9 is 27, and so on. Okay, so my inner product is when I've got two brackets like this multiplying each other. My inner product are the two terms on the inside. It's what they multiply to give. So in this case, the inner product would be B times C. So my inner product in this case is going to be BC. And my outer product is the two outside terms here, so A and D. It's what happens when I multiply these together. So my outer product is A times D, or AD. So I can put AD here. Now to give us a practical example with some numbers, I'm going to write out a few double brackets below and we'll work out their inner and outer product. So looking at these double brackets down here, what we have in this first set here is we have an inner product of 4 times x, so my inner product here would be 4x, and my outer product would be 2x times 3, so my outer product would be 6x. In this one, our inner product would be 5x, and our outer product would be 6x, 3x times 2. And that's basically all we need to know to go on and factorise these harder trinomials. Now the first example here, we're asked to factorise 3x squared plus 14x plus 15. And you'll recognise the start of this sentence from the easy trinomials. For these harder trinomials, we do adapt this sentence a little bit. So see if you can spot the difference. I'm going to write it out for this one here. And we can compare it with the previous sentence for the easier trinomials. So we still work the same way. We still work from the 15 and then this plus sign and then the 14 here. So I need a factor pair of 15. Now this is where it starts to change. It would have previously been I need a factor pair of 15 with a sum of 14. But now it says I need a factor pair of 15 where inner and outer products have a sum of 14x. We actually include the letter this time as well. So let's start off by writing out my factor pairs of 15. So factor pairs of 15, I can do that by 1 times 15, and I can do that by 3 times 5. Now, in the previous example, I'd then be able to select one of these, but in this harder trinomial, I can't select at this stage which of these I'm going to use. But I'm going to keep them both there so I can check. The first thing in this one I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the first term. Now, this is 3x squared. When I'm factorising these harder trinomials, it's going to go into two brackets. And the first thing I want to do is think about how am I going to make this 3x squared. Now each bracket has to have an x in it, so straight away I've got my x and my x. But to get this 3 in front of the x squared, then one of these must be 3x. So it would have to be 3x times x. Because 3 is a prime number, it's nice and easy. That's the only way we can make that 3x squared and have an x in each bracket. Now, this is where we're now going to test these values. So at the moment we don't know which of these values or which of these factor pairs I'm going to use, but I'm going to be testing it against this kind of sentence here. So what's important is the inner and outer products have a sum of 14x. So I'm going to continually come back to that highlighted part. So let's take the first factor pair here, 1 and 15, and we'll put those numbers in. I'm going to just write them in green up here, so 1 in there and 15 in here. And then we're going to test that red highlighted bit there. So my inner product is 1x and my outer product is 3 times 15, so that's 45x. So 1x and 45x. Now what we're asking ourselves is, do 1x and 45x have a sum of 14x? And obviously the answer there is no. So what I would do is I'd rub them out and I would try them the other way. So I would this time try and put the 15 in this side and the 1 in this side. And again, I would test it against this bit here. So my inner product is 15x, my outer product is 3x, so do 15x and 3x have a sum of 14x. And again, the answer there is no. So again, we're going to rub them out, and what we're going to look at is we're going to cancel out that 1 and 15 because that doesn't work. So now I'm going to test the 3 and the 5. Okay, and I can test them just by putting the 3 in and the 5 in that order first. And again, we're going to check it against this. Do they have a sum of 14x, my inner and outer product? So my inner product is 3x. My outer product is 15x do 3x and 15x have a sum of 14x? And again, the answer there is no, so I'm going to rub them out. And I'm going to try and put them in the other way around. So this time I'm going to put the 5 here and the 3 here, so swapping the order of them. And again, this should work because it's the last possible combination. My inner product is 5x and my outer product is 9x. So do 5x and 9x have a sum of 14x? And this time the answer is yes. So that means we now have these numbers in the correct position. Now the last thing we need to, just as in the examples we've done before, the last thing we need to focus on is the signs, getting the correct signs in these two spaces. Now, again, we're going to look at this as my target. My target is positive 14x. So what I like to do here is I like to write down my inner product and my outer product over here somewhere. So my inner product was 5x and my outer product was 9x. And then I'm going to go back to that target number in the middle, which is positive 14, and I'm going to put that positive 14 with the sign at the bottom, so positive 14x. Now to make that positive 14x using 5x and 9x, I would have to start with positive 5 and add on another 9. So I can do that quickly, positive 5, add another 9. And because these are both positive, then it's dead easy. I can just shove both of these, or make both of these positive straight away. Okay, so if I want to make positive 5x, then 5 times x is here, so I want it to be positive 5. And again, positive 9x, so this is my 9x is my outer product, so I want this to be positive 3 here. And that is it fully factorised. So a little bit more work in these ones and a little bit more trial and error. Let's try the next one. So again, part B here, we've got ax squared plus 2x minus 3, and we're going to write out our sentence here. So I need a factor pair of 3, where inner and outer product have a difference of 2x. So what we'll do is we'll start off by writing down our factor pairs of 3. There is only one factor pair of 3, which is fortunate, so 1 and 3, that will reduce our work a bit. And then the next step is to think about the kind of terms that would have gone at the front of each bracket here. Now this is a little bit harder. 3 is a prime number in this one, so 3 times 1 is the only way I can make it. Whereas 8 is not a prime number, so I've got a couple of different ways I could make this 8x squared. So let's start off with the kind of obvious one. We can do it by having 8x times 1x, and we're going to try that. Now if this doesn't work, what I might need to do is look at the other way of making 8x squared, which might be 4x times 2x, but let's hope this one works. Now again, when we're testing these 1 and 3 in the different spaces, then what we need to keep coming back to is this sentence here. We're looking for our inner and outer products to have a difference of 2x, and that's how we'll know we've got the numbers in the right place. So let's try the 1 and the 3 in these spaces here. We'll start off by putting in the 1 and the 3, and then we'll check that. So our inner product is 1x, our outer product is 24x. So do the inner and outer product have a difference of 2? So 1 and 24 don't have a difference of 2, so that's wrong. So we can rub these out and try it the other way around. So this time we'll try and put the 3 in here and put the 1 in here. And again, inner product 3x, outer product is 8x. So 3x and 8x, again, they do not have a difference of 2x. Now that means I've tried that 3 and 1 both ways, and it's my only option. So that means that these bits here must be wrong. So I can rub that out, or we'll just score it out just now, and we can go underneath and we can create a new set of brackets. And this time we'll try the other way of making 8x squared. Now the other way to make 8x squared is to do 4x times 2x. And that's basically the only other way to make this 8x squared. So now I'm going to try the 1 and 3 in place. So let's start by putting the 1 in here and the 3 in here. And again, we're going to test it against this sentence. So inner product is 2x, outer product is 12x, but that's not two numbers that have a difference of 2x there. Okay, so we're going to rub them out, and we'll try that the other way around. We'll try it with the 3 and the 1 this time. So 3, oh, hang on, 3 and 1. So my inner product is 6x, 3 times 2. My outer product is 4x, so 6x and 4x, they do have a difference of 2x. This now means my numbers are in the correct place. And the last thing we need to focus in on is the signs that are going to go in these two spaces. So again, what's a good idea to do here is to write out your inner product and outer product over at the side. So I've got 6x as my inner product and 4x as my outer product. And remember, my target is this thing here, this positive 2x. So I'm just going to highlight that quickly. Positive 2x is what I'm trying to find. So I'm going to write that down at the bottom here, positive 2x. Now, looking at these two, my inner and outer product, I want to get it to come to a total of positive 2x there. So using the numbers 6 and 4, how do I get to positive 2? Well, if I start at positive 6 and just take away 4, that would get me this. So positive 6 minus 4. Put them on. And then what I've got to do is get them in the right place. Now, it's still a little bit of thinking required here. So I want to have a positive 6x. 6x is my inner product. Now, if I want to make this positive, it's going to have to be this positive 3 multiplying this 2x. So positive will have to go in here. And then I want my outer product to be negative 4x. Now, my outer product is these two numbers multiplying each other. So I need to make that 4x times negative 1. So I'll have to put my negative in there. And that's basically how we factorise these harder trinomials. There is a bit of trial and error, there is a little bit of extra work, and you need to really keep going back and checking your inner and outer product against this sentence. That's why it's so important that we get into the habit of writing that sentence out every time.